All right, it looks like I'm live. All right, I'm ready to go. Good morning, everybody. It is 8:30 on the dot. Made it on time, and that is one of the most important things in business, especially in real estate, where you'll be dealing with investors, serious people with serious money looking to spend that money on a real piece of property. You're going to want to get in the habit of being on time, and it looks like I was on time this morning, which is kind of a first, because we've been figuring out now for, oh gosh, we've been doing these over a month and a half, I believe, at this point. How to get this all set up and going. So we're off to the races, people. This is amazing that we are here 3 days a week on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, bringing you insights into business development and into the real estate market in Phoenix, not only here but throughout the country, and also bringing you useful material that you can apply to your own business. And for those of you who are new and starting out and have never done a wholesale deal, we're here to extend you an invitation to send us an email to what you see in my tagline, propertynoodlers@gmail.com, and we certainly invite investors, wholesalers, new and old, to connect with us, join our team, get on our buyers list, and let's connect, because that's one of the most important things. There's a lot of one of the most important things you'll notice here listening to me today is connecting with other people, especially connecting with people who have the knowledge, who have the abilities, who have the things, material, spiritual, mental, physical things, whatever it is that you want in your life. You want a network of people who already have what you want. And so we, of course, invite everybody to connect with us, because I'm always looking to connect with like-minded people and people who are not only as good as me, but I actually strive to get to know people that are better than me. I'm on my way to becoming a level 10 person, and I need to be surrounded by level 10 people. And so do you. But I digress. It's Wednesday, September 3rd. This is oh, I better turn my cell phone off. I apologize, people, for that. This is September 3rd. This is This is the real estate training number 17. And what I'm going to get into today is a little bit on the self-development side of things. You may have noticed Paul's not here. He's greatly missed. He should be back Friday morning, and he'll fill you into what he's been up to. He's actually in Tahoe, California right now. As you know, those of you who've been following us, that we are based in the Phoenix market, but we had an opportunity to do a deal up in Tahoe, and we took it, and got Paul on a little vacation to go check things out, a paycation, if you will. So he's up in Tahoe. He's not able to join us this morning. He'll be back Friday morning. So what I want to talk today about is a little bit on the self-development side, and it's the word commitment. Commitment. I think it's important to spend an hour every single day in quiet meditation. For those of you who are familiar with Napoleon Hill's work, Napoleon Hill, of course, is the author of Think and Grow Rich, and it is his huge influence on Paul and I, and you'll probably hear us talk about him just about every morning. We'll mention something that we picked up from reading his books, or things we picked up in the mastermind groups that we're part of, that we discuss his concepts. But he talks about a time management system. And just to run you through that real quick, because I want to actually keep focused on the word commitment today. Basically, his time management system is broken up like this. There's 24 hours in a day, and we all know that. 8 hours of that day should be spent sleeping. Okay? I mean, that is the most important thing. That rests your mind, rests your body, resets your mental clock, and to be healthy and performing at 100% and acting at 100%, well, you need to get 8 hours of sleep every night. I mean, it's not always easy. Actually, it's quite challenging. I myself didn't fall asleep till 3 o'clock last night. Still got out of bed at 5:30 this morning. I was on a long vacation, let's say. You know, there was Labor Day, and so I got plenty of rest, so I'm okay. But I will be getting 8 hours of sleep tonight because I know it's important. And if I don't break this little habit of getting to bed at 3 and waking up at 5:30, if I don't nip that shit in the bud tonight, well, you won't want to see my face on Friday morning, I can tell you that, because it's going to be ugly and grumpy and mean and just slow and dim-witted, and, you know, who the hell can operate like that? So 8 hours a day is important. The other thing Napoleon Hill says now in his time management system is that there's 8 hours of your day now that should be dedicated to being productive. And let's define production here, and let's make a commitment to productivity, okay, people? You know, for a lot of you, you might be working a job that you're not happy with, you don't like it, and so you wake up in the morning, no enthusiasm, you don't really feel like getting up and going to this thing because you hate it, and that's probably why you want to get into wholesale real estate. Try something new, something that can bring, you know, fat checks of money. Oh, excuse me, God, allergy season here in Phoenix. Sorry, itchy nose, I gotta resist it. Mind over matter, people. Oh, where was I? Sorry. Yeah, commitment to being productive. And I was getting into, you know, a lot of you having those jobs you don't feel like going to. So, you know, you get there and you kind of haphazardly go through your day. You spend the whole day thinking about and watching the clock about when you can go home. And you really aren't productive on your job. And you probably suck at your job. And your bosses probably notice that. And they probably think you suck too. But you're a body in a chair or on a construction site getting enough done that they won't fire you. Well, good for you. Pat yourself on the back. You're a loser. You know what? Productive. Be productive in whatever it is that you're doing right now. And whether you feel enthusiastic about what it is that you're doing, you know, act as if you feel enthusiastic and the feeling will follow. And if you're at a job you hate, that's good. Let that hatred of the job, and that's such a bad word, hate, I don't like that word at all. Your strong inclination to dislike what you're doing, use that as your motivation to get into wholesale real estate and give and send me an email, you know. But don't go through your day watching the clock. If you're at a job, whether you like that job or not, and there's somebody paying you to do that job, you know what? You owe it to them, because they're paying your paycheck, right? But you, more than them, you owe it to yourself to get in the habit now of being productive. So you know what? If you're at a job, you don't, even if you're at the job, and even though you don't really like what you're doing, be as productive as you can be. You'll feel better at the end of the day. Be like, man, you know what? I accomplished this. You're gaining self-esteem points, number one. Number two, stand out from the crowd. Don't be like all your other coworkers who are just doing the minimal to get by. Be productive. Kick some fucking ass and get noticed. Maybe you'll like your job and get a promotion if you do something to get yourself noticed, which is to be productive. And productivity, people, is real important when you make that distinguish, when you're no longer working hourly, which nobody should ever strive to work hourly. It should be based on what you produce, not what you can just occupy time doing. You know, there's a difference between being productive for 8 hours and occupying a chair or occupying a paintbrush and a roller, and I come from the paint, or occupying the hammer. You know, there's more to it. There's productive work. And, you know, and for the entrepreneurs out there and for the aspiring entrepreneurs who want to get into wholesale real estate so that they can free up a lot of that time, have to still dedicate, I don't care who you are, what you do, what your business is, you should be dedicating 8 hours a day, 6 days a week, to being productive. You should commit to your productivity. And in my business, productivity means sales. There's nothing going on in my business unless I've negotiated a contract on a deal, and there's still nothing going on until I found a buyer to sell my contract to. So when I talk about being committed to productivity and wholesaling specifically, the productivity is where the rubber meets the road. That's where the pen meets the paper. And that's when contracts are signed, and that's when contracts are flipped, and that's when someone's giving you a non-refundable deposit to put in your bank account today because you sold them a contract. You sold them a contract you had. So in Napoleon Hill's time management system, 8 hours a day being productive. So commit to being productive. So commitment, very important word. Committing to your sleep, committing to your productivity. And then the other 8 hours of your day, this is where Napoleon Hill says the most important 8 hours of your day is actually the final 8 hours and how you spend that time. And I couldn't agree more with that statement, because this is your time to reflect. This is your time to be charitable. This is your time to spend with your family, and this is your time to study self-development. This is your time to educate yourself, and this is your time to do whatever it is in the hell that you want to put a smile on your face. So let's break it down. In this 8 hours of time, Napoleon talks about being for 1 hour a day out of the 8 hours you're not sleeping and you're not producing, you should spend in quiet meditation. And let's break up this hour here. And this, honestly, people, I struggle with this daily because it is so hard. Let's get rid of the word hard. Let's use the word challenging, okay? It's good for the mindset. All it is challenge. It's a challenge. But, you know, I find this 1 hour a day to be one of the most challenging things in my life, to stick to this and do this on a daily basis, is sitting in quiet meditation. Because we're a world full of attention deficit disorder people. Everybody, I don't care who you are, I think everybody has ADD. Nobody seems to be able to, except the most successful and committed people. This is where commitment is strong again, people. Commitment to focus. This is going to help you if you stick to Napoleon's time management system here. Commitment to focus. This hour is so hard because we're inundated with marketing everywhere we look. We can't drive down the road without a billboard, and now they've got electronic billboards that the ads change every 10 freaking seconds. I mean, television, if you're not committed enough to your self-development that you're still sitting in front of that television when you're not sitting at the job that you hate and you're not sleeping only the 5.5 hours that the average person gets every night, you're spending your 8 hours watching television where the images are flashing so quickly before your eyes like this, and shifting frames, shifting in and out, and then 30-second commercials pitching an ad, that we are trained. We are, God, what's the word I'm looking for? We are trained. We are basically programmed to have ADD. And Napoleon Hill's writings are 70 years old at this point, 80 for crying out loud. He wrote Think and Grow Rich in 1933. It was a different time then. I think people had an easier time of focusing, but that's still no excuse, because commitment is everything. And if you can commit to focusing your mind, you can defeat ADD. You can defeat a lot of things. I personally struggle with it every day, but man, I look at who I am today and I compare myself to who I was just even 3 years ago, and the change in myself is just, it's unbelievable, and you can have the same change. Hour a day of quiet meditation. Let's get back to that. God damn, these allergies, man. Landscapers cutting the grass this morning, so, fudge. Anyways, quiet meditation. And let's break it down. Napoleon Hill says, you know, you should spend 10 to 15 minutes during this quiet meditation to think about your definite major purpose in life. And if you don't have a definite major purpose, you can spend this time thinking about what that might be. And once you figure that out, you spend this time planning on how you can accomplish it. Another 10 to 15 minutes of this hour, it's important to get in an attitude of gratitude. For me, I'm a spiritual person. I believe in a higher power, so I take that time to pray to God. Some people don't like that. Some people are into the whole universe thing. But get in an attitude of gratitude. Realize that there's something outside of yourself. Even there's something outside of your inner self, your warrior mind. There's something behind this life, people. I hope you realize that. And you need to spend 15 minutes a day talking to that, thanking it, him, her, God, the universe, the moon, I don't know, whatever you believe the higher collective, the collective consciousness, whatever it is for you, get in a habit of thanking it for everything in your life. Even if you think there's nothing you have to be thankful for, spend 15 minutes and you can think of a few things. Is there air coming in your lungs? Is there blood pumping through your veins? Is there life in your body? Then you have something to be thankful for. Think about it, people. 10 to 15 minutes a day, quietly meditating and being in an attitude of gratitude, thanking the universe or God or whatever it is for everything. Another 10 to 15 minutes of this hour should be spent thinking about how you can create more harmony in your relationships. For years, I do affirmations. I have this one affirmation that says, key people are coming into my life to assist me in my mission to achieve my definite major purpose. That's one of my affirmations. It wasn't until I actually sat in quiet meditation and thought about how to create better harmony with the relationships I have that I realized that I'm not waiting for key people to come into my life anymore, people. I've got key people in my life. And holy shit, was that an aha moment when I realized, wait a second, this guy that I've been going and masterminding with for 2 years has done everything but put hundreds of thousands of dollars in front of me and say, give me 12% and you can take my money and do anything you want with it. I sat with this guy for 2 years in a mastermind group and was waiting for a key person to come into my life. Spend 15 minutes thinking about how to create harmony and cultivate the relationships you already have, and I guarantee you, you will realize that you have a lot of what you need already in your life. You're just not, you're kind of too blind to see that it's right there in front of you. So you got to spend some time thinking about your relationships and how to create harmony in those relationships. And then, another 15 minutes, we said, attitude of gratitude, thinking about planning for and defining your definite major purpose. Think about how to create some harmony, 10 to 15 minutes, and then maybe spend another 10 to 15 minutes thinking about the things that you want. The key thing is thinking about the things you want. Don't think about the things you don't want. Don't sit there going, I want to be out of debt, because you're thinking about debt. That's something you don't want. Think about how much money you do want. You know what I'm saying? Only spend 10, 15 minutes thinking about the things you want. And if you could focus yourself to do this for 1 hour a day, it'll change your life. Okay, so there's still 7 hours. So Napoleon Hill's time management system says that you should spend 2 hours of the day going above and beyond for other people. This is part of creating harmony in your relationships. How can you be charitable? I mean, simplest thing as, an old friend that you haven't reached out to in a while, maybe a simple email, a text message. Hell, pick up the phone and talk to them, go above and beyond. Send, somebody that you're close with is down in the dumps. Something's been bothering them lately. Maybe a friend of yours is going through a tough divorce, a tough time. Spend 2 hours. I'm not saying spend 2 hours talking to just them, but maybe spend just a few minutes, reach out to them, give them a call, give them some words of encouragement, offer yourself to them. Last week, I look at this is turning out to be an awesome opportunity. An investor here in Phoenix knows I own a paint company, knows I have equipment, knows I have trailers, he needed help. He needed someone to help him pick up a set of cabinets. This is a guy that I've known for about a year and a half, outside of a mastermind club and, working on a few deals together. We weren't really friends. I thought about Napoleon Hill, said, you know what, I've got 2 hours I'm going to free up for you this afternoon. I'll pick you up. Let's go do these cabinets. Now let's go pick up these cabinets. And hell, man, that relationship in the last 2 weeks, I've, had multiple excellent conversations with him, talked about what we can do in the future, and the guy's now feeding me deals on a daily basis. So you get out of life what you put into life. So if you're spending 2 hours of your day to go above and beyond and help people out, not because you have to and not because you expect anything in return, but because you generally just want to help somebody else. I don't want to say this because I don't want this to be the motivation for helping other people, but it will come back to you. You will be helped. Karma is so freaking real. It's ridiculous. So you've still got 5 hours left. Napoleon Hill says that you should spend an hour a day on self-development and educating yourself. And I couldn't agree with this anymore. In fact, I spend more than an hour a day in self-development. I probably spend 4 hours a day in it. I dedicate an hour to where that's all I'm focused on. And then if I'm like doing some busy work around the office, cleaning up around the home, cooking dinner, when I exercise, I kind of try to multitask. Like if I'm doing an exercise, most people at the gym or most people on the hiking trail, they've got rap music or some rock music, which is awesome. I fucking love music, dude, and the energy and the vibration of the instruments and what that does to my mind and pumping me up. It's awesome. But you know what? I look at that as, I'm not always going to fill my head with music. I'm going to, listen to a self-development program or an audio book while I'm working out, or you can play that stuff while you're cooking, so you can kind of multitask. But an hour a day minimum. Let's just do what we need to get started here. Should be spent, and you should commit this hour a day to self-development. Coming in and spending the 25, 30 minutes that me and Paul do these hangouts. There's 25, 30 minutes of self-development because, most of what we talk about on these stuff is mindset and personal growth type of stuff. We will be getting into wholesaling, and we have gotten into wholesaling and all those aspects of it. But, because personal development and getting yourself in the right frame of mind, the right energy and mindset every single day is so important, that is probably why that's the heaviest part of our content on these hangouts, is because that stuff is so important. So an hour a day, that leaves us 4 hours a day. The other hour, read Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich book if you don't understand the concept of masterminding, but you should have your inner circle. You are the average sum of the 5 people that you hang around the most. You got to be careful who those people are, number one, and you got to choose them very wisely, number two. And you need to then have your 5 closest companions, and every day you should, Paul and I, for us, these hangouts, it's kind of like a mastermind. So again, it's killing for us 3 birds with 1 stone, so to speak. We do these hangouts. This is part of our business. So it's productive for us to do these. We're talking back and forth about ideas and stuff that we have and we want to share. So we're masterminding. And because it's about business growth and personal growth, we're also getting in a half-hour personal development. So that frees up even more time of the day, That's another point I'm just trying to make, is that you can do a lot of these things while doing other things throughout your day. You can multitask these things and still be effective. but you should spend an hour a day reaching out to your mastermind. I have several businesses, so I have several business partners. I probably talk to I got two partners in a paint contracting business. I talk to them at least 20 to 30 minutes each a day, just to kind of touch base about the business, pump each other up a little bit about getting through the day, and mastermind some ideas we've got to make the business better. And, you got to spend an hour a day doing that, masterminding. And then that leaves 3 hours. And guess what you get to do for these 3 hours, people? Whatever the hell you want. This is the time to crack open a beer. This is maybe time to turn the mind off and watch a movie, watch a little TV, though I would suggest being very selective in the things that you're letting yourself see and be privy to. Stay positive, watch positive things, engage in positive activities. So it's so important. But, I take it a little step further. I'd like to say, there should be those 3 hours. Because you know what? Just taking a shower and cooking dinner and going out to lunch and just, that eats, your 3 hours is pretty much eaten up just in daily routine, non-productive daily necessary routine. That's why I'm saying you could always be listening to a book on tape. You can always be maybe, with Bluetooth in your fucking ear, or, the earplug with the little microphone. That's what I use. I don't like Bluetooth. I feel like cell phone waves are getting directly into my eardrum. It makes my ear ring. I don't like the Bluetooth. I use, the little headphone with the microphone right here. It works awesome. But I can multitask. I can cook my lunch while having my mastermind with Paul. 3 hours a day, though, do whatever the hell you want. I would suggest somewhere in there you should throw in that 3 hours. Part of that 3 hours for me is an hour a day. I work out an hour a day, period. But I can multitask that. If I don't, I can still have 3 hours of free time, because what I'll do is I'll listen to an hour of one of my mentors' self-development courses while I'm exercising, so I get my exercise and my hour of self-development. And I got millions of ideas how you can multitask this stuff. But I would say you probably want to include in your time management system minimum of 20 minutes a day of exercise. It's just important to feeling good. Another thing I include is I try to read every day for about 30 minutes and journal for 30 minutes. I do that about an hour before I go to bed. I try to journal for 30 minutes, and then usually my days are so filled with being busy and children and business and masterminding that, when I sit down at night before bed to read, I fall asleep in 20, 30 minutes anyway. So it's just a natural process. But I would say you want to include in those 3 hours of free time, maybe not putting on the TV, maybe limit that. But read, journal, so important. But commit yourself to making some changes in your life. Commit yourself to taking action. Commit yourself to sending me an email at propertynoodlers@gmail.com. We want to get people on our team. That's the whole reason we're doing these calls, these hangouts, is because we want to entice people to jump on board with what we're doing here in the Phoenix market. Take these ideas to any market you want in the country. We can help you do that. We're not charging anything. We're building our network. So with that being said, I'm so excited for Friday's call, because Paul will be joining us. We're going to have some awesome, mind-blowing content for you guys. I'm going to leave it at that. We're going to give you some meat to put in your wholesaling sandwich. And you know what? Make it a great day. Thank you for spending these 30 minutes on the Hangout. propertynoodlers@gmail.com. Let's connect. Send me an email, and have a great rest of your week. Bye-bye.